all this time you started with classical?
Actually, I started with I was playing like with my friends, and the first song I learned was like on bass. My friend was like, I learned that on bass, and then I learned like something like that, and like just like basic, you know, one finger versions that you can do. Just because like I got into it, and I was like, wow, I like this music. And my dad knew how to play. My dad always played, and so he would show me certain things, like show me stuff like that, and beginner stuff that he was showing me, because I was still learning. And I learned songs that I wanted to learn.
How long ago?
I don't know. I would say like when I was 12. I'm 17 now. So when I was 12, and I wanted to learn. He showed me like just the basic stuff that I want. Like I heard, and I wanted to learn it. And so what I was doing was just picking up songs without taking lessons. And then I learned all the songs I wanted. Then I was like, well, I want to get technically good. I want to learn about why certain things are the way they are, and why I should put my fingers in a certain position when I'm playing. So then I was like, all right, I'll take lessons. And then I started learning that. And then we did a couple different songs. And then on the record, I heard this. He gave me a CD, and I heard the song that was like. So it went like that, and I heard that, and I don't know why I just became so hooked on like this kind of like
bluesy,
like the blues. Yeah. And for a while, I just played stuff like, or like
Chuck Berry.
You're like a. Stuff like that I really into like all that style of music, or like even like.
Did you ever transition to George Benson and thru?
What happened?
They're the gods of at least classical guitar, and I mean you were doing some almost like thru stuff there.
Yeah. What happened was I was playing that for a while, and that's all I listened to and all I really played, or I played like blues stuff like Eric Clapton, Hendrix, like stuff like that, and I loved it. And then I got to a point where I saw some of my peers, like I did this rock program. It's called Rocket for kids. Now it's just called Rocket. And I saw these kids that were just going crazy, like. And they did stuff, and they did like stuff like like sweeping, and like I never saw any of this in my room. You know what I mean? I never really expanded to that. So seeing these kids do that, I was like, oh wow, they're better than me, and I was like, I want to get into that. So then I never really like learned scales. I mean, I was taking lessons, but I wasn't like, I wasn't getting like pushed, to like learn scales, and I think it's good that I didn't. I didn't get too. My teacher didn't force me to do scales. He kind of let me discover it on my own,
right.
Which I think is good, because if I just learned scales from the beginning, like I learned them, but he wasn't like, do these scales or play them or die, something like that. Because it's good, because if I was always learning them, then only my solos would just been like. playing blues, like, that doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing, like, mostly you play pentatonic, when you're playing blues. But, I mean, like, when I was playing blues, I got my phrasing down. I didn't just follow the scale. That's like a lot of kids that grow up, like, playing blues or classic rock, they usually get their phrasing down and, like, their feel, rather than, like, kids who grow up playing, like, progressive rock. They usually get their speed down and, like, their arpeggios, like, stuff like that. And I really got down to, like, what can I make, I want to make my guitar, like, I really want to get that out of my guitar, rather than, and then there was a point I went through where I only played that kind of stuff. I was just like, wow, I want to be like, I want to shred, I want to be and
isn't tapping and bending better on the electric?
Yeah, it's all you do on the electric. But I mean, it's cool on, but it's easier on electric. But, back to what I was saying with I went to, like, a whole phase where I just played scales. Because I needed to learn them. I did, in order to advance my playing and my knowledge of the fretboard, I needed to know, like, if I'm playing this, I can, instead of just, so, and then I did that, and at that point I started getting involved with classical, because the first song I heard was from my teacher, and it was in his book, and it just went, and then it goes major. But I heard that, and I was like, I really like that sound. And I like the sound. It's one guitar, but there's so much going on. Like, and you have bass notes, melody, and, like, background. So, like, technically, this is your bass, that's your melody, and these are like this should be the loudest note, this should be the sturdiest note, and these should be like background. Stuff like that, and it was cool to hear that. So then I got into more like and stuff like that. So I really, started becoming more of a fan of that, and then I got into.
Did you ever get into jazz at any point?
Then,
well, that's George
recently,
Benson.
for the past couple, maybe like a year or so, I've been playing jazz, and the first thing I did was like.
That's all clue. This is all clue. Have you heard "Breezin" by George Benson?
Yeah. Yeah. He does a cool riff that I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's really cool. He's awesome.
He's a god.
Yeah. He really like singing. Like he would sing.
Yeah, he's got with it.
Yeah. While he plays it, it's just nuts. Because that's what it should be. It should be like, when you first start playing, it becomes more about like you memorize the scale and you're like you run up and down it. But then the more you get advanced, you want to think about it before you play it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily think like, oh, I'm going to play this note, this note. You want to hear like, dun, 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 you know, and then just play it. Because like, it goes along, it's coming from you. Like, this is what you hear in your head. So like, you hear like, in my head, I just heard, or like, and just like, you start thinking about it more. And like, with jazz, that's a big thing too, you know, because jazz has chord changes. Something like that. I forget. I haven't played that long. But stuff like that, like you have to play over the changes. Like you can't just go. You can, but it doesn't sound jazzy. You know, you gotta do stuff like. Yeah, stuff like just that. I mean, I'm not a great jazz player. That's what I'm working on. I've been working on, like, I've been playing with guys lately and, like, having to go over, like, jazz changes and stuff like. So play over that, you go. You're following each chord, you know, you got. You know, jazz is very advanced, and you know, there's certain things like I wasn't ready to get into a lot of it. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that was like, you know, you'll play this chord, but your solo could be. Or you could do like, and like it's just out there, and like I wasn't ready for a lot of it. You know, the kind of jazz I was ready for, because I grew up. My dad always had like Frank Sinatra playing in like the car, so like.
You probably had a lot of Dean Martin too.
Yeah.
Volare.
Yeah, and stuff like that. That was just like, I heard that, so I like to play that kind of jazz. So the kind of jazz that was very
Big band jazz.
yeah, like bebop kind of stuff, you know, or like the more modern jazz fusion I didn't really get into too much. And then, you know, like stuff I liked was like kind of like that kind of swing. Yeah, I like that kind of swing concept, like.
Nice. Great.
Or certain ballads, like not even ballads, but just into because of the fact that I never really had like a band to play that kind of style. You know, I was young playing that, and I wasn't really like when I was playing. I wasn't like a jazz musician. I just knew a song by Frank Sinatra that I learned to play, and my teacher learned to like teach me, you know, that kind of style. And my teacher was a jazz player. Like I wasn't ready for, you know. Are you?
Yeah.
Good.
This is Elena.
Hello.
Me here, right? And Joe. And they're both on the side. Elena's doing makeup for the slide.
Oh, really? Okay. I got my makeup done.
Sure. Do you want makeup done?
I know it's showbiz.
You play well. Every Sunday I kind of like sitting there like.
When I'm sitting around like this, is what I do.
Go back to rock. You play Sounds of Silence.
From the side. It's like the Simon and Garfunkel. I never really learned Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know why. For some reason I never, because my parents, like I didn't grow up listening to that, so I never really got into it.
You need me?
So that was Joe. Joe, what's your last name?
Salento. C-I-L.
Joe Salento, taking us through every genre from classical to rock to bebop to a little bit of jazz
And I got, yeah, I also, and like the recent thing I got into was flamenco,
and Latin.
and which is like the. Stuff like that, and the strumming there, I'm a still beginner at that, and it's complicated. And like soloing, it's the same thing as like jazz. You got to follow changes, you know, different way of following. Like that's the thing about the different styles. Is like I can find jazz licks and fit them into metal songs. It's just how you deliver them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a jazz lick could be like. I think I learned. And I could do that like could be like oh no, I want to do it. And, like it still kind of works, you know, but like it depends on how you deliver it. And like certain stuff like metal is very but like it can be jazzy, you know, you can, but yeah, stuff like that. And you never really, that's where jazz fusion comes in, where you start mixing styles.
That's right.
But yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then now I'm just trying to go to school for music.
Good show, good show. Good. But where are you going to go to school for music?
I'm obviously looking at Berkeley, Berkeley College of Music, University of the Arts in Philadelphia,
Oh.
and some other places too. A couple different other places.
Oh, so you'll major?
Yeah, I want to major that I can get out of school with and potentially have a job. My main thing that I want to do is perform. So like I want to I want to play with people. I want to go on and I want to play out and play live. That's the main thing I want to do. But the thing I realized about that is that I don't necessarily need a degree to do that. Like, we're doing that here when we do the play. We're going out playing. None of us have a degree.
Background.
We don't have like a performance degree to be able to do that. We just do it. So I want something maybe like music education to have a sturdy job with, but also I can pursue performance just because I will have intensively studied my instrument. So I'm really looking to do that. how does that work?
Good show.
No, I'm always going to play. Because the biggest thing that I get is that I always find people coming up to me saying, John, I wish I still played. Whether they're my age
right.
or whether they're your age, you know, they're older, they're always just like, I wish I still played the sax or keyboards or anything. And, you know, I just play guitar because I took a liking to it. I don't know why. Like,
It's awesome what you do. I see him also, and it's awesome. I wish I had taken up the guitar.
yeah, and the biggest thing about it, like, it depends on what you want to do with music. Like, a lot of people just find a way, like, to communicate. Like, that's really what, like, an instrument is. It's a way of, like, conveying certain things.
Form of
certain
expression.
ways. Yeah, form of expression. It's
Right.
just,
Yeah.
my way of expressing comes through playing guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when I feel something, I'll play guitar. Or, you know, some people have piano. You know, I mean, if you want to talk basic theory, like if you want to talk music theory in like the most general sense, I would say play piano because it's all laid out in front of you. That's why when you go to music school, if I go to music school for
Those
guitar,
are hard notes.
yeah,
Like
if I
he
go
was
to
trying to tell
music
me.
school for
Yeah.
guitar, they're going to teach. I have to take piano lessons when I go there. I have to take like keyboard 1 and keyboard 2, just because it really helps with the theory. So, but I mean, you also find other ways of expressing it.
Right. Right.
So, you know, that could be things writing lyrics or anything, any form of music. Or, you know, so that's why, you know, a lot of musicians or something like that, you know, maybe like some rock, I don't know, but I always find people saying like rap is music or something like that, and I'm just like, you know, it is. It's a different style and it's a different way of just conveying something. You know?
And later on, would you want to move on to teaching?
Yeah, I mean, like, teaching isn't, like, my dream, you know. Like, my dream isn't, like, it's for some people. Some people want to go and they want to, you know, teach young people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I've done it, and I don't mind it, but for me, I'm more of, like, just, like, a play out. I like being in front of people and performing. It's just something I like to do. You know, I know friends that are amazing musicians, and if they play live, it, you know, I don't know, maybe they sell out or something like that, but they don't. They like their studio. They like being alone in the studio and creating music and then just, you know, putting it on records or something.